Hey, Brandon here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the 2023 NFL Draft Rookie Report here, as always, with my co-host, Jason DiRienzo. He is the recent graduate of the Scouting Academy and co-founder of Devy Watch. Jason, tonight we're going to be talking about Mr. Sean Tucker.
Yeah. I'm excited about this one, man.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, he's I've seen him as far as top 3, and then I've seen him outside the top 10 for some players. So this guy is all over the board. So we're going to get into it tonight. We're going to talk about his 2022 film. We're going to talk about his expected draft capital, his future dynasty value. So again, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, welcome. We've done a ton of shows. This is actually going to be our 24th episode of our rookie profile show here. So hit that subscribe button and thank you again for tuning in. So let's get right to it. Comes in the combine, measures in at 5'9", 207 pounds. I think that was a little shorter than we were thinking and maybe a tad bit lighter. But overall, I mean, Sean Tucker is a 3-year player coming out of Syracuse. He's had a good career. 589 attempts for 3,182 yards, 27 TDs, averaging 5.4 yards per carry over his 3-year career. 64 receptions, 622 yards, 4 TDs, averaging 9.7 yards per catch. So 64, he had a really good season this year catching the ball. I think that's going to be, when we get to his profile, one of the pluses, at least for me, that I see in his profile. So let's get to some PFF stats that we like to kind of look at. We like to look at the zone and gap usage of these players. Versatility is key. He ran 67% in the zone, 33% in gap style up there at Syracuse. Yards after contact, 3.514 for his career, Jason. All the best backs in the class averaged 4 over the course of their careers. In 2022, he was 2.79 yards, but he started out in 2021 at 4.11. So kind of took a step down. I think we saw that on his film. I think that's the little disappointment everybody has with Sean Tucker, right? I mean, he came out as a sophomore, blew up. He came in this year and kind of struggled a little bit. So missed tackles forced, 139, which represents 23% of his attempts through his career. He made a guy miss, which is pretty average for the guys that we've watched here on the show. An elusive rating, 55.6. He is last in the class. Bijan Robinson was 169. And again, these are PFF stats, whether you like them or not. That's what we're looking at here. A-Chain was 93 to kind of give you some context there, but he was last in the class of elusive rating for PFF and their grades of all the backs that are really going to be, on our draft radar. Any thoughts on those numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come away overly impressed with his elusiveness, but to be last, that's very surprising to me.
Yeah, I really thought it was too. I mean, I think this guy's got some lateral ability and some explosion and acceleration. So do with what you want with that information.
Right.
All right. So, all right, let's go to the scouting report. These are my field notes and my film notes on my Devy dashboard product. So his scouting report, we break it down. If you're, new to the show, we break it down into 5 traits. First trait, vision and patience. I have here. I think he sees and navigates the line of scrimmage well, but he can be uncertain and show indecisiveness at times. Patient runner who lets things develop. And I think overall made pretty good decisions. I mean, this guy has the ability to bounce outside. We just talked about Israel Abanikanda, who had that ability, who didn't do that. I don't think, Sean Tucker, abused going outside all the time, maybe a little too much, but he has that ability. But I mean, overall, I thought he showed some decent patience and ability to navigate in the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think he has solid patience. I don't think he does overly too much, but I think he could do a little bit more with allowing his blockers to kind of set up and utilizing his blockers. Yeah, I think he just tries to accelerate too quickly and doesn't see exactly what the linebackers and defensive tackles are doing. So that could be an issue.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Vision is the hallmark of any successful back, right? So footwork and short area quickness. I said he has active feet, can stretch defenses with quick cuts to the outside, changes direction well with good body control, showed solid cutback ability away from the play without losing a lot of acceleration, making guys kind of miss their tackles a little bit. However, he doesn't make a lot of guys miss on his own. I mean, there were some definite plays that he showed that, but I think on a regular basis, I mean, especially this year on the film, making that first guy miss is imperative to being a successful running back in the NFL. I mean, he has the ability, I think, with his body control and footwork that I've seen and the way he can, flip his hips to me anyway. But I wish I'd saw it more. I mean, his offensive line was terrible. I mean, we know that, but I was expecting a little bit more of making guys shake and baking guys, making guys miss.
Yeah, I was too. He can do it. I think last year was a lot better from what I saw of this year as far as his elusiveness and just being able to kind of do a, cut and evade. He can do it. I just don't know if he understands his own body mechanics and how to execute that the closer he gets to a defender. So we'll see how that all pans out. But as far as his elusiveness and footwork and everything else, I think he's just solid all around.
Mhm. His acceleration and speed, I have here. He's a relative explosive athlete. He's a track star in high school. He can
Mhm.
hits the hole with force when he has a crease. He has excellent acceleration and bursts and can maintain that speed in the second level. Um, you know, he passed running at the combine, and I don't know why. I don't know if he was hurt or he got the strain or something, but that was a little disappointing. But I
Yeah.
think with that said, he's got enough speed in the NFL to win.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I really didn't feel like I needed to see. I just wanted to see it because I
Mhm.
know from the game film, I believe in that acceleration and that speed. It's definitely well above average.
Yeah. So strength and contact balance, solid build with thick lower half. I mean, you look at the guy with his shorts and shirt. I mean, he looks like a monster. He runs
Yeah.
with good but not great power and contact balance. He fights hard, but I expected more yards after contact. I guess that talks about what we saw up there. I
Yep.
mean, I can see how those PFF stats for the yards after contact. His pass protection is an issue, and I think that's been well documented that he struggles. I mean, the couple games that I watched, he really goes low for people's feet a lot, where he doesn't, square up and try and take the defender on. So I think he's trying to cheat his way out of having to, get physical. But
Right.
overall, I mean, I think again, I really look for physicality. I mean, especially in the running back position, you have to move the piles, and he moved the piles at times. But
Yeah, he did.
I didn't see a consistent guy who was going to be a power back, who was really going to really put a licking on defenders.
Yeah, I came away wanting more from that part of his game. He did weigh in a little bit lighter than we all expected him
He
to,
did.
but at the same time, I wanted to see a more physical, runner, and I did not see that. And with the pile pusher, man, again, it's just man, some of these bad tackling and bad tackle attempts and pursuit angles that I saw when it came to some of these running backs. So I kind of have to, skim through that and figure out who the player is. And I think Sean Tucker definitely needs to add more functional strength to his game if he's going to succeed at the next level.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So let's talk about his NFL draft capital. I've got him at round 3 to 5. I don't know. I've not seen him drafted in the second round in a lot of mocks recently.
Mhm.
But I think he's got enough buzz. I think he's got enough speed. I think he's a pass catcher. I think that's going to help his profile a big time.
Yeah.
Again, the NFL teams are going to have to decide whether or not he's got the play strength to get 15, 20 carries a game. But I think he could be a versatile piece on a team. But rounds 3 through 5, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's about right. I got 4 through 5, so we're in the same area.
So we did 2 rookie drafts in the last 2 weeks on my Devy dashboard, and he came out as a solid second rounder in both drafts. He's not getting out of the second round. I think there's too much love for the guy right now.
Yeah, I think the love for the guy will definitely keep him in the second round, but I definitely have more of a, early third, late second type of range for him. Just again, it's that draft capital I'm a little concerned about because the pass blocking is so bad. I'm wondering how NFL teams are going to view him.
So is he still a third rounder for you if he lands on your beloved Bears and they draft him?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Is he a second rounder then?
Uh no, 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 no. Just because I do believe in Khalil Herbert and I think the Bears love him, that committee is going to be a problem. Yeah.
Every freaking team has a committee now. What are you talking
Everything.
about?
I
All right,
know.
so his projected
Except
fantasy
for who
value.
drafts Bijan, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah, who gets the king? I can't wait to see where he goes.
I know.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right,
Yeah.
so projected fantasy value. Let's project 2 or 3 years out of the road. Where do you see him? I see him as an RB 3 or 4.
Tied, man. I'm right there with you. 3 or 4.
Okay, my
Yep.
player comp for him, Aaron Jones, again, a player that can catch the ball out of the backfield, had some
Mhm.
vertical ability, not the strongest guy in the world. I don't know exactly what his measurables are off the top of my head, but, had some slashing ability, had some, ability. Let me tell you, if Sean Tucker has an Aaron Jones type career, he'll be a success in the NFL.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
we'll have to see. But I mean, he was my player comp, so I think he might be able. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not going to be as good as Aaron Jones, I don't think, but I think he's in the top half of this class.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some of the skill set is definitely there, and the pass catching ability, like you said, I think is going to be his bread and butter. So that would make sense considering how Aaron Jones was a pass catcher for Aaron Rodgers for such a long period of time. But I have a comp. Bilal Powell, who I watched when he was on the Jets, was very similar to what I saw with Sean Tucker in college. So I have a very similar comp to those two.
Yeah, and you know what else you have? You have a pretty good damn memory too. If you can actually remember what the hell Powell ran back in college and compare it, well, good for
Yeah,
you.
when I watch some of these guys, I go back and watch some old film, and it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, okay, well,
Yeah.
that is yeah, that PAL film is way out of my brain right now. All right, well, there you guys have it. There is Sean Tucker. It's gonna be really interesting. We're gonna, landing spot and draft capital, of course, is gonna change the game for all of these
Mhm.
rookies because, obviously that plays a role. But I appreciate you guys watching. Again, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna do all sorts of these films we have for all of your favorite rookies, headed to the draft next month. So again, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.